As the days passed, Kazim's behavior became increasingly erratic, driven by a fixation that had consumed him entirely. His love had warped into a grotesque parody of itself, marked by possessiveness and control. Catherine's captivity had become a symbol of his twisted devotion, and the darkness in his mind had extended to her. He was desperate for her love, but he would be patient. He would wait and he would earn it. Only Catherine could reach into his heart like this, and she did it without any effort at all.
No, you do me. Why you make me do this?
He would repeatedly say in his bad English during his visits to her.
I go tell you I love you. You go dey tell me no. Why?
His intentions, shrouded in a delusional sense of devotion, led him to forcibly clean her up, disregarding her autonomy and invading her personal space. His heart, once overflowing with love, had morphed into a distorted manifestation of obsession. He justified these intrusions as acts of love, blind to the discomfort and fear he instilled in Catherine's heart. A few times he tried listening to her because of his soft spot for her, but unfortunately, this path had already been taken, and there was no going back. She should have loved him back before he took drastic measures. He'd have her like this for the rest of his life. After all, she had become the air he breathed and his candle. Catherine, exhausted from her prolonged struggle for freedom, finally conceded as the realization set in rescue wasn't forthcoming. She had to employ some Stockholm Syndrome strategy, if perhaps it would work, and she could devise a means of escape. It was during this resigned moment that Kazim entered her, leading to her pregnancy. Kazim wanted a love child from Catherine, not through forceful means, but he was heartbroken that he could only achieve this through this means. Understanding that Catherine would require medical attention, Kazim resorted to luring a proficient yet avaricious nurse with the promise of unprecedented wealth upon completing her services. The catch was that she had to agree to be confined with Catherine, tending to her needs in his absence. The nurse's greed made her believe Kazim's promises, thinking that after she was done with her work, she'd return to her family with a huge sum of money in her possession to start a new life. She made secret promises to Catherine to help her escape the moment she got out. When his child was finally born, Kazim was the happiest man in the whole of Isaleko. Though he expected a boy, he didn't mind the fact that the child was a girl. She was a love child, a dream come true. No one knew the reason for his celebration. Some thought it was his birthday, others thought he had just hit the jackpot. He gave away free goodies and hosted parties in public nightclubs, and brought some of the goodies to share at the confinement with Catherine and the nurse. He named his daughter Omoba Teni Abeni.
Congratulations to us,
He said, brimming with smiles while rocking the child, but he observed that Catherine was disconnected from the child. After Teni's birth and subsequent weaning, Kazim disposed of the nurse discreetly, to Catherine's horror. Fearing that exposure of his clandestine actions would compromise his carefully constructed world, Teni, unwittingly entangled in this intricate web from birth, became the sole outsider her father could afford to retain. With measured plans, Kazim orchestrated a strategy to conceal the source of Teni's existence, strategically placing her at his residence's entrance with the help of a paid female stranger. A forged letter detailing a fictional departure and child abandonment by a former lover accompanied little Teni in her basket, further shrouding her true origin in secrecy. He needed to be able to care for his daughter properly by himself. Meanwhile, Eniola Alakija, Catherine's father, was consumed by the absence of his beloved daughter. He had doted on her above all else, cherishing her as the sole girl among the brood of sons. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the void left by Catherine's disappearance only grew, casting a shadow over Alakija's health and gradually eroding his once overflowing wealth. With each passing year, her absence weighed heavier, and Alakija struggled to attend to his business affairs without her. He watched helplessly as his fortunes dwindled, his life unraveling in the absence of the daughter he loved so dearly. Eniola Alakija's life had unraveled, consumed by overwhelming sorrow. Helpless and despondent, he released his henchmen, allowing them to pursue their own paths as he grappled with the crushing weight of his grief. Despite the comforts showered upon him by his concerned family, friends, and Kazem himself, Alakija had lost interest in everything. A yearly memorial was set apart in Catherine's honor. However, the relentless grip of depression eventually claimed Eniola's life, marking the tragic end of a man whose world had crumbled with the loss of his cherished daughter.